Hey everyone, we're back and welcome to another episode of Wedgie Talk, where I sit down with some of the coolest people in the community, some of the most interesting people, and I get to learn more about them, their work, and what they're up to next. I've talked to some really interesting people so far, but none of them have been as interesting or as knowledgeable or maybe as influential in the community as my next guest, someone who certainly is a legend for many of us who know him. One of the most interesting people who's done some of the coolest stuff in the community. I'm very excited to have him as a guest, the one and the only JR. It's very great to have you here, sir.
Hey, very, very nice for you to have me too. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, it's wonderful. There's so much we could talk about just sort of right off the bat. I think it's fair to say for many people in the community, you're an absolute legend. And before I start geeking out and talking about how much I've loved everything you've done in the community, for those who are strangers to Lucky Fish forums and maybe aren't as familiar with who you are and what you've done, can you just sort of start us off by talking a bit about who you are in the community and some of the work you've done?
Well, sure. I mean, I think like most people in the community, especially based by hearing, on hearing everyone's stories.
Hmm.
My fetish formed, kind of early on in middle school. Actually watching a girl get a gang wedgie. I went to Catholic school, where guys getting wedgies was, I guess, semi-common. I don't want to say it was really common, but
Hmm.
probably 3-4 times a year. It was a public event. Uh, you know, Kind of staged. Definitely a gang style wedgie. I'm sure people have seen a ton of them on YouTube.
Hmm.
Never really made any kind of a connection at all between a girl getting them, which also seems to be kind of on par with other people
Yeah.
in the community's experience too. So what I did have was an upskirt fetish at that time.
Hmm.
Going to a Catholic school when you got all the girls walking around in those school uniforms, and back in the day, there was no shorts back then.
Yeah.
The short, I heavily disagree with the shorts under the skirt nowadays, guys. That's a cop out. Um, Back in my day, there
Hmm.
were no shorts under the skirt, so I mean, a lot of panty shots. So I mean, as a young
Yeah.
impressionable teen boy, that kind of impacts you. And again, pulling from other people's posts, just something clicks and something connects in some way that'll never be understood, which
Hmm.
is why so many guys have a myriad of fetishes that really kind of can't be entirely explained. But I got hooked. Probably, arguably, a little harder than a lot of other people, since it was almost a life altering experience, really. Um, Got me hooked on it. Spent the next several years kind of wondering if I was alone in this and why I was so turned on by this when
Hmm.
other of my friends really didn't seem to care at all. I'm
Yes.
like, okay, so what's weird about me? So a little feeling of isolation.
Hmm.
No internet back then, obviously, did not exist. Finally, when I went online in around late 1996, early 1997, I
Yeah.
started doing various searches with no Google and using engines like Alta Vista and Excite, which did not index sites properly. You really didn't
Wow.
find hardly anything.
Hmm.
Um, there was just no info out there, man. I sent you a link earlier. Everybody ran into Walter Miller's Wedgie page, which any old dog in this community will readily recognize that page name, which
Yeah.
is just this guy's experiences with wedgies. And I'm like, okay, this isn't necessarily what I'm looking for. That's the only thing I
Yes.
found.
Hmm.
And then, of course, infamously, ECW's Extreme Warfare Volume 1 with the
Mm.
Beulah and Francine catfight,
Yeah.
uh, where I couldn't order that VHS tape fast enough, which was what you did back then, by the way, is order
Yeah.
VHS tapes. I did, getting to your point, stumble on a board called Sports Only.
Hmm.
Oddly enough, had a fetish thread that had a few wedgie posts on it. And I was like,
Wow.
oh, okay, well, this is super cool.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not the only living male that's like to this now. So that is how the entire community got started, was on this board called Sports Only, which is just this single thread, old style chat board, where people were posting various Wedgie stories and asking questions about Wedgies, and of course, no Wedgie photos and videos quite literally did not exist online back then, because there was actually no way to post a video online back then.
Yeah.
So that was the birth.
Yes. No, that's fascinating. It's wild to hear how sort of different it is now with all the sites that we have sort of filled with content, and I guess the ease of which you can sort of put content on there. But from that site, Sports Only, how did it sort of grow? Since you're someone who has this encyclopedic knowledge of the community, which is interesting. Sort of from there, with you developing the fetish, and then from Sports Only, how did the community grow to what it is today? What was the next step after that?
So the Sports Only board turned into be this huge troll board, and we started getting and you can actually go back. It's indexed. If anybody wants to go there, we can provide a link on the forum. You can actually go back and click into those posts, and most of them are indexed, and you can read them. And we were being heavily trolled.
Wow.
So we knew we needed something. So I actually suggested to somebody called W1.
Okay.
Webmaster One, and that's all he would call himself, is W1.
Mm-hmm.
In all these communications, never knew anything more about the guy than that. I got him to put up the very first Wedgie website. So that's when we actually went live with our own message board and the sprinkling of photos that anyone could possibly find. It was a big deal back then if once or twice per month somebody stumbled across a photo.
Wow.
And that was a big deal.
Yeah. And what was that site called? The one W1 started?
It was called the Wedgie Girls. That's what it was called.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Yeah, fascinating to see that sort of change. So you make the first group there, the first site, sorry, and then just keep taking us through it, sort of step by step. What happened then?
So we tried to get some content posted on the website, and I had a bunch of cat fight videos that featured Wedgies, because the only way that I could find any content for myself before the net was cat fight videos. And I came to find two studios, Double DT Wrestling and Triumph Studios. Not only were the only ones that seemed to feature some Wedgies, but I also got to learn the names of the girls who were more prominent in giving them.
Okay.
So Sandy of DT Productions, and a girl named Keisha, who used to be in a lot of different catfight videos, were infamous for giving Wedgies. So I would go to my local adult store, buy those videotapes, and maybe one out of every 10 would even have a Wedgie. Okay. Wow. So that's how much money I'm dumping on this crap, right? So I had a box of tapes that actually had the Wedgies, and this is where it really gets interesting for you guys who were born after technology. Yes. I boxed them up. I mailed them to W1. Okay. W1 had a conversion device where it captured the VHS video and converted it into a video. And the best that we could do was post a link for download only.
Wow. So
to download one of those videos, about a 5 or 6 minute scene was about 1 to 2 hours.
Wow.
So that's how the first set of videos got on the website, were just that method of mailing him VHS tapes. Getting one step further, I was very disappointed of not finding any real Wedgie content. I figured there's got to be someone, besides me, who paid for something, did something. I mean, where is this? I mean, I'm searching every term I could. I'm going to all these different adult sites. I'm like, someone's got to have it. No one had it. Wow. So with my upskirt fetish, I found a site called Thursday Night Video. So Thursday Night, this is tnvideo.com.
Yeah.
So I was already buying upskirt videos from the owner. His name is George. The name is no secret. He's very public about it.
Okay.
Then on a kind of on a lark, I send him an email and I'm like, hey man, what are the odds that in your next upskirt video, the girls can give each other some wedgies? He's like, oh, that's not a problem. He goes, we'll go ahead and get that done.
Wow.
That first video is actually still on their website. If you go to clips for sale, you would go to Panty TV, and then you would search Park, P-A-R-K. Two girls in the park, Alicia and Miranda, still know the models' names. They, I would believe, actually have done the very first deliberate wedgie video in history.
Wow.
And what
That's
I mean
incredible.
by that is the very first video in history where they gave each other wedgies specifically for this fetish. That would be the first video when we're talking 1999. Okay.
1999. Wow.
That video also happened to have sucked. Right? So I got it, and I was very, very happy that George put that scene in for me. But they barely tugged. You know what I mean. They barely pulled.
Yeah.
So I email them back, and I'm like, okay, so I've got money. I did not even know custom videos existed at this point. I literally did not even know there was such a thing as custom videos. I wouldn't have even known to ask.
Yeah.
That's how out there it was.
Sure.
You went to adult sites, you bought a video, and it got mailed to your house. It would have never struck anyone at that time and say, hey, here's a script. No, you would have thought that you were a producer. That never happened. So I said, listen, how would this work if I sent you money and I like scripted this and like you had the girls do it? And he's like, oh, he goes, we can actually do that. He goes, drop off a couple $100 in a money order, mail it to my house. He goes, in about a month, we'll have the girls do it, and then we'll mail it back to you.
Wow.
You talk about trust. You're mailing this guy that you've never met. You know, in my particular case, it was a check for $300, off to Texas. And then, hey, hope you get a video. And I did. And it sucked.
Oh, JR, you're breaking my heart. Okay.
So I was like, okay, I'm starting to get the gist of this. Well, I mean, I'm not going to go on too long about this particular topic because there's other things to go on. So I'm actually going to wrap up this section of it very quick so we can move on to other things.
Sure.
They produced 5 videos for me. Each one was okay. There were some ones that I thought that actually had a little bit of merit to them, but it became very, very clear to me that unless I was going to control the action directly, which would mean hiring my own girls and grabbing a camera, I was never going to get what I liked, which are hard wedgies. So that would be, I did a lot of custom videos, but I'm not going to waste anyone's time with that. Renee, people know, Tyler, all that kind of stuff. Some of them were pretty hard, but none of them really struck what I was looking for.
Yeah, and I think that's fascinating. I think that's, humorous, and now some of us hearing about that, we get to laugh about the fact that you tried very hard to get these videos made at a time when it really wasn't a thing to be doing that. I think that's fascinating.
People forget that when, we had different progressions. We had, trying to remember the name of the photo site that came out. It had to have been in the late 90s. Somebody will remind me of it when they listen to this podcast. But it was a slew of photos, personal photos, that were just posted and updated every month. And that actually was a trove of wedgie photo, just everywhere. It's going to drive me crazy to do the whole rest of this podcast for me to think about it. But then, of course, we have MySpace. And MySpace, believe it or not, had searchable videos, and we found a great deal of good videos with MySpace. When I told my story many times about the girl that I saw get a gang wedgie when I was in school, a fair amount of people came back at me and said, that's a nice, completely fake story. That's cute that you have that story, but girls do not give each other gang wedgies. That is not a thing. It doesn't happen. completely in your imagination. So
Wow.
then MySpace has a couple of videos that come out of
Hmm.
Wedgie. Of course, I don't know whether or not you're familiar with the infamous Shelby Wedgie, hanging Wedgie on the bedpost in her college dorm room.
I feel like I must have seen that one. Yeah, that sounds
That
very familiar.
is
Yeah.
two girls and a guy literally picking their roommate in college up by her
Yeah.
panties and hanging her on the bedpost.
Wow. That's
Search
intense.
Shelby Wedgie in YouTube, and you'll find 1,000 copies of it. That was, a huge kind of gang wedgie. And then, of course, YouTube hits, and we get more than I can count. I would say at least 20, if not more, true girl-on-girl gang wedgies.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, see?
Yeah, and we do.
I'm not.
We
I'm not. As a matter of fact, a couple of the girls, when I posted the videos on the website, there were reached out to me and actually told me that they needed to be taken down because they got in trouble for posting them. They were schoolgirls,
Yeah.
posting videos of gang wedgies that they gave to other girls. They're like, we didn't think it was going to get this much attention. These things need to come down.
Yeah. That's wild.
Moving on a little bit to producing, I think you're going to be getting to like when I produced Fox.
Yeah, for sure. I just because, like you were saying, you mentioned wanting to have that total control, and I think thank you for segueing for me. But I think it's interesting to I think you said this is almost natural progression of wanting to have more control after finding that these videos you were paying for weren't giving you what you wanted. So yeah, I'd love to chat about how you sort of get into producing and what motivated you to sort of start making like the infamous Fox, Jess, and Lindsay videos and many of the other very, very well-known videos you ended up making.
Yeah, I think this is the part of the podcast that people are actually be interested in, because most of the people probably listening were not back in the community in the 90s. They're like, okay, this is a little bit boring. Let's get the Fox. A lot of comments. Also, people showing their hands, by the way. And what I mean by that is a poker reference. Is I'll have people be like, well, yeah, I'm 22 now. And I remember when I first logged on to the website and saw your first Fox video. I'm like, okay, that was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That means you were 12.
Yes. Yes.
And they're like, yeah, kind of. Yeah, I was.
Yeah. Don't
like,
ban me.
Okay, so we had that many people logged on to the site that were underage. But I get a lot of comments that people's very first real, I guess, foray into this fetish for them when they started searching this kind of stuff was my Fox videos.
Yeah.
So ran out and bought a camcorder. Don't know how to shoot video. And I can prove that, by the way, if you watch the very first video I did, which was Brittany and Brooke.
Yes.
Complete with the date and the time running at the bottom of the video.
Oh, wow.
Because I didn't know how to turn it off.
Yeah.
So back then, we had Craigslist adult section, which is now defunct. Craigslist ditched their adult section, but we had it back then. So I could post anything I wanted on Craigslist adult. Yeah, hey, looking for girls for fetish videos, and girls were posting looking for adult work.
Wow.
I lived in a major metropolitan city, a huge city. No shortage of girls posting on there, and a lot replied to my posts. And I was like, there is just no way on God's green earth that I am going to have random girls that I've never met show up at my house to get wedgies.
Yeah.
It's not happening. This is
not a chance.
I'm absolutely fooling myself.
Yeah.
So the first two girls who did answer the ad were Brittany and Brooke. I did not want to lure them into a situation that they were uncomfortable with. So I very graphically described exactly what it was going to be that they're doing. Well, you got to remember, I think people in our community have to keep something in mind. Maybe we think about the girls that do these wedgie videos through like Best Wedgies, Roxy, Catherine with just wedgies, Janeri. We're thinking, wow, look at what they're doing. Those girls are adult models. I mean, they finished doing that video, and now they're doing a dildo in the ass next, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So to them, as a frame of reference, this is ridiculous. They're like, really? I'm just going to go get wedgies because, this next shoot that they want me on is like hardcore.
Makes
So
sense, yeah.
Brittany and Brooke were adult models. So they were like, oh,
Okay.
okay, that's it. And we stay dressed? Oh, sure. Okay, give me your address. Yeah.
Wow.
And if you notice that video, if you've ever watched it, we go into the woods. So there are two girls who have never met me before who are wandering into the woods with me with a camera.
It sounds terrifying. Yeah. Yeah.
They actually didn't work out all that well. And I think I really have to phrase this properly. They weren't who I was looking for.
Okay.
They were okay. They weren't who I was looking for. Fox answers my ad. Okay. And Lindsay and Jessica answer my ad. And they both, to me, they were all pretty. All of them. Yeah. And I was like, okay, so this is going to be very cool. So they all just show up to my house. And if you've ever filmed anything before and you're new, you may have a plan at first. For me, that all went out the window.
Really?
I was like, I'm going to have this scripted. I'm going to have them say all this different stuff. And it's going to be like a little mini kind of movie. And it was just like, blah. When it all happened, they're like, oh, what do you want us to do? And I'm like, I don't know. Just lay on the floor and give each other wedgies. I was very nervous.
Yeah.
Very, very, very nervous. I don't know if anybody who produces videos for the very first time can relate to that, but it was very nerve-wracking for me. They didn't know that I actually had the fetish. I cast myself as a light fetish producer who was into lots of different things, which I am. That was not a lie.
Okay.
I like panties. I like skirts. I actually like pie in the face. I'm a member of the UMD community. I like this. So there is a wide variety of fetishes I'm into. And I was indeed doing videos with them with all those different fetishes too. It wasn't just wedgies. It was also upskirt videos and things like that.
Okay. Good to know. Yeah.
So I felt very awkward and nervous that I was going to somehow be busted, that these videos were mainly for me, even though I was selling them on the Clips for Sale store.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? I know it's very hard to get across. Everything I was saying to them was being technically honest.
Yeah.
I'm an amateur producer. I'm shooting these videos to be put online for sale. And there's a wide variety of fetishes that you're going to be doing. True, and true.
Yeah.
What wasn't true was my ultimate motive in making those videos. Which, of course, I got busted at little later on into the video series with them. Fox literally approached me after video number 4 in a hotel room, and she's like, "You're into this, aren't you?"
Women's intuition.
And I'm like, actually, I am. And I told her the same thing I just told you guys. I said, listen, everything I told you guys is the truth, especially you. She actually got a cut of the videos, by the way. I don't know if you know that. She shared in the profit of the videos.
Wow.
So she was very happy that they were selling well. She loved the wedgie community. She liked giving wedgies. I don't want to say she didn't like getting them. That would be the wrong term, but she loved to dominate other girls. And absolutely loved to destroy them by giving them the hardest wedgies she could imagine giving.
Wow.
So I finally got exactly what I was looking for with Fox. And she could care less. All these things get built up sometimes in your mind that don't end up playing out. And she really couldn't care less that I was into it. I mean, it didn't bother her at all. I always acted very professionally around them.
Yeah, no, I think that's incredibly important. I think it would be pretty easy to creep them out and do something unprofessional, right? Maybe end the relationship there. But it sounds like you took this very seriously, and it sounds like, and you can see it in the work, right? And it sounds like it carried on very nicely from there.
It was pretty cool to see the girls genuinely have fun giving each other the wedgies, which cannot be faked. You can say, well, they're getting paid. And I'll tell you right now I can't tell you how many custom videos I've done. It's probably well over 300 at this point.
Wow.
when a model is doing a custom video for you just for the money.
Mm-hmm.
You also know whether or not there's a level of enjoyment there too.
Yeah.
You know, the very first Lindsay, there's a Lindsay with an A and a Lindsay with an E, by the way. The
Yes.
Lindsay with an E, I actually did one video with. She did not come back.
Mm-hmm.
That was her one and only video she did with me, and she got paid very well. Okay?
Yeah.
So that can be debunked, that as long as you pay an adult model money, that they're going to fake being into something. She would not reply to any of my emails after she left the house. Okay?
Wow.
Fox was like, when's the next Wedgie video being done? When are we doing it? Is it tomorrow? Because I'm available.
Wild. That's wonderful. I think like you said, you can watch so many videos, and I think after a while you sort of can just see it, I think, when it's real and when it's not. And being able to get that from the models as well, I think, is indicative of a good skill, I think, as a producer. And I think one of the reasons your videos definitely do stand out among all the content that's come after, I think, as well. Which is cool.
Fun times being in the park. Fox and Stacy at the park having to stop shoot every time people walked by. That stuff like that was hilarious.
Yeah, I bet. Wild stuff. So, and now you've launched relatively recently, I guess, the new website, right? Girls Getting Wedgies, right? That you launched.
I still have to figure out what I'm going to do with it. I was going to make it a single page for every new video released. And it started that way. If anybody remembers going to the site when I very first launched it, I went through Clips for Sale, other websites, and literally spent a lot of time taking each one of those videos and, of course, linking it right back to the producer. I mean, straight back to the producer. I mean, if you click the link, it goes right to the Clip Studio. I made nothing. And I got permission from every studio owner that I was going to be doing this, and they were all initially excited. Well, after it launched, about 3-4 weeks went by, and one producer, I'm not going to name them, emailed me and said, here's my fear, that everyone's going to start going to your site and not going directly to my Clip Studio, which means indirectly you're going to control my sales.
Oh, wow.
Which means if our relationship somehow goes bad, you're just going to take all my videos off your website and my traffic's going to die.
Wow.
I want to control my own destiny, so I want all the videos off the website. And I'm like, well, if this is going to be the way it's going to go, then I don't want it to go this way.
Yeah.
So I just removed all of them. So now it's kind of a holding place for something coming up. And I do have plans. Right now it's just a holding place for my Patreon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you've gotten, I guess you took I think it's fair to say you've taken a bit of a break from producing for a little while, and now you're back into it, right? You've launched the Patreon, and I guess just sort of, can you talk a bit about that? What's different with that? You're producing new content. What can people expect if they haven't seen your Patreon yet?
So the Patreon, I think, is pretty cool, because instead of charging individually for a video, because that's obviously how the entire community works. I mean, you get a video, you sell it $8, $10, $12. The problem with that is I do a lot of custom videos, especially smaller ones with what I call true amateur girls. I mean, they're just online. Most of these girls that I have on there haven't even done an adult video yet, and I mean ever.
Wow.
So that's exciting for me, and hopefully for my Patreons, to see these girls talk about wedgies, give themselves wedgies, where an overwhelming majority of the case, this is all new for them, which is exciting for me. It's not expensive to make those videos. So I can't expect anyone to pay me $5 or $6 or 2 or 3 of these videos per week, because that's $15 a week, and that no one's going to pay that. Okay.
Yeah.
But they still want the content. So Patreon works really well for me, because I can just charge $10 and just load them all in there. Yeah. And now you can join, and I think right now I've got 50 videos in there. So great, join for $10 and watch all 50 videos.
Yeah, that's incredible.
It's a better value for the member. And if they want to cancel, hey, cancel. There's no penalty. Just, go in and watch the videos and get out. A lot of producers seem to get really wound up about that. Well, I'm not going to do a Patreon because what's going to happen is someone's going to join, download my 20 videos, and leave. Fine. Not everyone will do that. So some will, but not everybody will do that. You'll build a loyal following, and some will do that. And they get wound up about it really for no reason. But with that said, building on that, I'm also a little frustrated with that too. So I'm actually going to be getting back into live producing.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Wow. Fascinating. This is super interesting. Yeah. Okay.
So the Patreon has done better than I expected. With the revenue coming in at around $800-900 a month, I can do a lot with that for the members.
That's huge. That's probably one of the biggest, I think, in the community that I can think of. You're also, I think, one of the only producing videos for Patreon as well.
Well,
I know some artists and stuff.
I think there's a Wedgie art Patreon that's doing pretty well, and I think Between Two Cheeks Patreon is also doing pretty well too.
Yes, yeah.
Which I'm a big supporter of. I heavily encourage everyone listening to this to support, especially the artists, to support those Patreon pages. There's an immense amount of effort, as you know. I mean, who am I talking to? That goes into story writing. If I was a professional story writer, I'll call you a professional writer, and same with your guest. I'd think about creating a Patreon, and hey, charge somebody $1, charge them $2, get an audience of 200 people going, throw an extra $500 your way.
Wow.
And produce real unique, great story content. I do believe that artists should be paid for their work. So yeah, between two cheeks, I think I'm a member of that. It's God there. He's producing games.
It's huge, right?
I mean, come on.
New. Yeah.
So with the money that I have to spend on the Patreon members now, what I want to do with that is, instead of giving people 3 small updates a week, which is what I've been doing, is still give them the 1 a week of a true amateur girl. But then give them 1 big production per month of a multiple girl live produced video of my own. If I can't live produce it, I can at least kind of remotely produce it. The technology exists nowadays with video chat, with me to hook up with the girls, even remotely, and say, listen, this is what I need done. And by the way, let's run through it first. And I can actually watch them as they run through it and actually kind of literally produce the video from cities away.
Wow.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay. I can at least get that done. And here's my point, and I don't know whether or not you're going to agree with me, but I'd love your input on this. I am over the fake videos.
Okay.
I get it. 2 Hooters girls are going to have a fight over the next Hooter shift, and they're going to have a Hooter Wedgie battle. Okay?
Yes.
I haven't bought one of those videos in probably a year and a half.
Okay. Yeah, I'm around the same.
Doesn't do it for me anymore. I just can't get past the fake reactions, the horrible acting with the scripts, which you can't expect them to really be pro actresses. They're fetish models. Okay.
Sure.
I want to do reality-based stuff. I want to do true live interviews with girls about the wedgie fetish. Regardless of what comes out of their mouth and what they say, I want to interview them. They're fetish models, obviously, so we're going to get good content. It's not going to be like some random girl off the street. What are you talking about? Get away from me. It'll be good stuff. And then when they give each other the wedgies, I want it to be completely, I don't want to say completely, that's the wrong word. I mean, as non-scripted as possible.
Nice.
Whatever they think a wedgie is, but I will put hard in there. I don't want to disappoint members with, a little tug. I will put the word hard in the script. But whatever they do with that, and with whatever their true natural reactions are, that's what I want to grab.
Wow.
And I got one getting produced right now with Anastasia Rose and Maria Jade.
Nice. That's exciting.
They're actual friends in real life. They're both fetish models, but they both live in the same Tampa area. They're friends in real life, and I already have it out there. It's actually being shot next Tuesday for them to do exactly that. They're going to have a conversation about the wedgies. They're going to have a conversation about the videos that they've done with the wedgie fetish. It's going to be almost like them talking with each other. And then when they give each other the wedgies, we're talking real everything, non-scripted, real reactions. That's the stuff I want to get into.
That's incredible. I'm super excited. And when can we maybe expect that to drop or be completed?
Well, if they're going to shoot on Tuesday, they should be sending it to me because I don't want it edited. That's actually part of the thing. They're like, well,
Really?
it typically takes us a week to edit it. I'm like, no, don't. That's the whole point. I don't want it edited. I want it raw. If you guys, there's no such thing as messing up if you guys are just talking with each other. If you're talking in real life and you stumble across your words, you just keep talking. Well, I want that video to be the same thing.
Nice.
So we should have that in the Patreon by end of next week, hoping. We'll see.
Nice. Super exciting stuff. I'm pumped. That sounds like a return to, it's cool that, sort of throughout everything you've been doing, it's a search for finding something real, right? Sounds like from the very beginning when you were sort of getting those custom videos and then producing your own, it's been this sort of, really making sure what you get delivers on what you want to see, which I think is very interesting.
I mean, that's not in almost to go not in a completely different direction, but I've also had a fantasy of producing a very large video. I had a crowdfunding project back that completely bombed. I was quoted one price, it ended up being another. I was promised one thing, it ended up being another. It was not going to work. I tried as hard as I possibly could to try to get it work. It just wasn't going to work. Ended up having to give everybody their money back. But now what I want to do with that is eventually, it's not going to be this year, but it could be next year, is I want a big party scene with like 15 girls at least, where it's literally a gang wedgie situation, but with as real as it possibly can be. Again, we get back to a very light script, if anything, giving general directions of what I want done and kind of letting them go past that point. And I can pull that off. Financially, it's not an issue. My money is not my issue. It's the logistics of it. That's the issue.
15 girls in a room. That's never before done, my friend. That's be quite a big thing to pull off for sure.
I do plan on having that done, and I will be live for that, by the way. As a matter of fact, I not only will be live for that, but I would probably hire at least one fetish cameraman to be with me, so we're both shooting, at different angles. But I would expect that to come out sometime next year.
Nice. Yeah, no, that heads up is amazing. It gives us a lot to look forward to. That's super exciting.
Well, you're a creative guy. I mean, do you struggle sometimes with new creative ideas?
Oh yeah, all the time, and you must experience this as someone who's, I think, pushed the boundaries on what is out there and what may be out there. But I think every time I think of something new or story ideas or anything like that, I'll hit a wall with them at some point, and I'll go, maybe I can't do this. Maybe logistically it's too much. Maybe I should just retire or something like that. But you push through it, and I think I can find inspiration from seeing what others do, and I'll think about the videos you've made, and I'll think about the work I've seen others do. And I think maybe I'll just give this another go. Give it another try something slightly different, and
it's a little weird sometimes that I would watch some of those professional videos that people would do when the girls don't even say the word wedgie during the entire video.
It blows my mind.
And I was like, okay, that's a little downer for me when they don't say the word. It's a downer for me when they're not like teasing each other about it. All that stuff I find at its core is kind of missing.
Yeah, and it sounds like you're creating content that will have that. And I think for that reason alone, the fact that it's something you'd like, others are going to like it, which I think has always been the case with your videos, which is exciting.
Well, if you want to do anything with art, and again, you know this more than anybody, you have to keep your audience in mind, but you kind of have to stay true to yourself, because I don't think that you would be able to write a successful story without having your heart in it at all and thinking, well, maybe this is something that a lot of people are going to like. I'm not into it at all, so I'm going to try to write about it. I don't think that would work.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I think that's well said. And it's interesting that you would sort of describe it as art, where people outside of the community, they'd see the videos and they'd see the stories. They go, "What is this? This is really weird." But I think the fact that it means something to someone, like you said, the people who join the community for the first time when they're very young, they see the Fox and Lindsay videos, they see Brianna there, and it sort of lets them know, I think, sort of like for yourself when you first joined Sports Only, that they're not the only ones who like this, right? And I think that is incredibly special in a lot of ways.
Isn't our community fantastic, though? I mean, I don't know if you're a member of other fetish communities. I am. And we just have so much better discourse in our fetish. It just, everyone seems to be very respectful. I know it's not perfect. You know, there are some girls that will get, you know, you don't necessarily want to say you're a girl on any fetish form. That's not exclusive. That's not exclusive to us, but
that's good to know.
There, so many other fetish communities just have so many trolling problems. Even now, we just don't seem to have that.
Yeah.
It seems to be just a real sharp community. I don't know if you're on the Discord with us.
Discord I joined. I occasionally drop in now. I was on there quite active when you first launched it, just praising you, I think, quite a bit. I remember that. And then I haven't, so I'm on Discord occasionally, because there are many groups that have sort of started up after you started yours, and definitely I think of different qualities, but from what I've seen in all of them, it's always a respectful discourse and people just getting together, which is very nice to see.
All right, so where do we go from here? Anything else that you'd like to know?
I think we've touched on so much interesting stuff, and I appreciate you taking so much time to talk about it. You've spoken, I guess, about what's next for you, but is there anything else you didn't mention that you think people should know about coming up for you in the future?
No, I mean, hunting down amateur girls for the Patreon is definitely a labor of love. It is definitely not easy. I would say for every 100 I spent, maybe I could use a third of the content that I get back.
Wow.
The rest of it is just not usable. When you're contacting true amateur girls, you're getting back video that is just completely non-usable. Audio is horrible. You can't even see them in the photo because the lighting is non-existent.
Wow.
I don't dig into them for that, by the way. They get paid, and I actually say thank you. Anybody who's going to try to produce content for me with effort, I always appreciate. I'm never going to come back at them and say anything negative about it. I'm just simply not going to use them again. You know, if somebody's on their old iPhone 3, from, 8 years ago. You know, they get all excited when they send me the video. Here it is. Tell me what you think. I'm like, oh, okay. So it's work to get the videos from the amateur girls that have any kind of decent quality to them, and then even at that are even able to be posted in Patreon without someone watching it and say, hey man, I'm paying for this. What was that?
Well said.
So I'm on Twitter. I'm finding friends of friends. I'm on Extra Lunch Money, which is a complete nightmare.
Wow.
So lots of different venues to pick from. Sex sells on Reddit, which is another nightmare. So I think the only thing I would want people to know is it does take effort and money on my part to get those amateur videos out. So just, to let you know, if you're a member, your money is being well spent.
Nice. Yeah, no, I think that's important for people to know. Even if they see it, sometimes it just helps to be reminded of that fact, I think, which is always nice. But yeah, this has been incredibly insightful. You certainly have probably an encyclopedic knowledge of the community, I think, and just content, which is really amazing to see. And I appreciate you sharing that with us all. We've talked about a lot, so what's next for you, which is super exciting. We have a lot to look forward to and some of the work you've done. So to sort of end us off, is there any insights or any thing you'd like to share with the community that we haven't touched on, and you think you just like to sort of maybe sum up what we were saying and leave us with?
I'm completely contactable, which means I have no problem people reaching out to me, DM me on Twitter. My email's all over the place. Send me an email if it's anything that you want to say, if it's anything that you want to ask, if it's anything that you would like, to see or like to see done that you currently are not seeing out there. Reach out to me and let me know. Say, hey, you know, is there any? As a matter of fact, someone just reached out to me today and say, hey, what do you think would happen if we did in what is it called? AMSR? Is that what it's called?
Oh, yes. Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
I think it's AMSR. If I'm wrong, I'm sure.
Is it ASMR? Is it ASMR? ASMR or something? I think it's pronounced something like that.
Something like that. I think everyone knows
think
what
so,
I'm
yeah.
talking about. They wanted to get a video done of a girl talking about wedgies in the tone of voice in the ASMR tone.
Yeah, that'd be wild.
I would have never thought of that, and I actually said yes, so I'm going to get it done.
Wow, I'm gonna have to get that one. I don't even know what that'd be like. I've barely sort of scratched the surface of any of that stuff, but everyone who's talked about it, yeah, it's an experience. The ASMR stuff. So.
I'm going to hire a pro fetish ASMR model, and I'm going to give them a nice wedgie script, and I'm going to see what the community thinks about it.
Yeah, fascinating. That's great. So you got some stuff coming up, some experimentation, some hopefully next year we get that huge project, which sounds like a dream come true for most of us, right? I think before your work, we're always sort of saying like, where are the hard wedgies, right? Where's the good content? And you're delivering on that, which is wonderful. But yeah, it's been wonderful chatting with you, JR. It's been really, I think, an honor to chat with someone as influential and as knowledgeable about the community as yourself. And I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me about it all. So thanks again.
Hey, thanks a lot, man. It's been an honor to chat with you too.
Awesome. And thanks for listening, everybody. Bye.
All right, everyone. Goodbye.